So a lot to discuss, so let's get on with it. So as usual with Bach, tempos are not indicated, and you may have anything from I find that one kind of yucky too. So I like something in between. So I'll play a little bit, and then we can again discuss my choices and reasoning. I want my choices to be clear. So here once again, even though the left hand here goes it doesn't really. It is an equal partner, sometimes more equal than other times. So for example, when you have that, so again it's that dancer supporting whatever's in the right hand. But sometimes the left hand has truly fascinating things, has moving lines. Sometimes we have moving bass notes, etc. So I think your interest can very easily change from hand to hand. There's way too much of a danger of this piece beginning to sound like a Hanon exercise. And when we do that in Bach, that's on us. That's not Johann Sebastian. He doesn't do Boren, right? He doesn't do mechanical. He doesn't do any of that. So decisions here can be based, as I said, on harmony. They can be based on the motions of the left hand. They can be based on the motions of the right hand, or they can change as you go. I've changed my mind, I don't know, like 4 times practicing this. Well, that's every day, right? Because I'm not preparing this for performance, so I do not need to finalize any of my solutions. So my usual speech when talking about Bach, if you find yourself or your students with a Czerny edition, please burn it. Please, please, please burn it. Now, first copy down the fingerings, then burn it. Right? Because his fingers are great. The problem with Czerny editions, besides the wrong notes, is the slurs. So Czerny treats everything in a trochaic fashion. Everything would start in a beat. That's to die. I mean, that's absolutely to die. So you have to think, as in most Bach pieces with a lot of running notes, you have to think iambically, you have to think on which note of the 4 does the music really begin. Here it's kind of it's straightforward. I mean, it starts on 2. Except when it doesn't. So I did 8-note chunks right now, because most of them are. Except when they aren't. Except where Bach switches to 4-note chunks. There's at least one. I don't want to reveal them because it's so fun to find them for yourself. At least in one point I see a 12-note chunk. It would be boring to keep 8s going, right? I mean, that would put our listener to sleep. Once you've decided what each individual gesture is, then you can decide what it does. So in the beginning, clarity. We're going up, different up, much less up, right, resolution. Sometimes the endings turn up, sometimes the endings turn down. It means something for interpretation. Then we have small intervals and big intervals. They deserve quite different attitude, don't they? So don't think about a keyboard instrument. Think about a string instrument. Think about some kind of a bizarre cello that only has 1 string. So our seconds, our steps would be like here, and then that huge jump would be whatever. It would be huge and would require a different amount of time. So perhaps doing doesn't quite carry the interest that I'm exaggerating, of course. Don't forget, if you give the large interval, maybe, I don't know, 2% more time than the little ones, it's subtle and yet so interesting and shows us where the interest lies. So as always with Bach, the notes are difficult. Learning it is difficult. fun comes when you start making these musical decisions and choices, because we own them. Bach says nothing. It's all completely up to us. We as the performers and as teachers, we're expected to make these choices. And they're so fun, and you're welcome to change your mind. Like on a nice Indian summer day like today, when it's like 23, you can make one choice. When it snows on Sunday, you make a different choice, and then when it gets, I think it's supposed to get warm again towards the end of the week, a third choice. How fun is that? But at least the Prelude is semi-uncontroversial. The fugue, of course, is controversial indeed. So let me play a little bit, and we'll talk about, you know, the elephant in the room here. I did not do the kind of dotted rhythm that we're taught as children, 3+1, right? It would be kind of traditional interpretation here is as a French overture. I'm sure everybody's heard the term. It comes from the very early opera performances of French opera, obviously, where the point of the overture was to tell all the overdressed, evil-smelling people to sit down and shut up, basically. So the violins would always go yum, ta-dum, ta-dum, ta-dum. That is profoundly overdotted, and here we are. You notice that I'm not keeping that that particular rhythm going through every section. That in this section, because the other solution doesn't sound right. I've heard performances like this. To me, that doesn't sound right. The dots are completely fungible in the Baroque period. The dot just says make the note longer. Right? How much longer is completely up to us, the performer. Ornamentation here, some of my favorite recordings here, just pile it on. I don't know. I always worry about adding a lot of ornamentation to Bach. I mean, he kind of wrote it already. He kind of knew what he wanted. But on the other hand, like we can say that, but then we look at some of his own ornamented versions of his own pieces. Like there is, one in English. It's particular. He doesn't leave a note standing, where he has versions with accoutrement, with ornaments. There's not a note left standing. The way when he adds ornamentation to his own pieces, and then he writes letters about, how all the other harpsichordists add too much. So, yeah, full of it. So I don't know. You can listen to recordings and see what you like. I am only adding what's in the actual score because I think this piece is busy enough. In fact, if you think about it, all this business is actually a written out ornament already. As you notice, that's how I'm treating it. I'm not counting them out at all. They're completely free. They're basically slides into the note. Then, in terms of figuring out, making musical decisions for the whole piece, I usually do my structural analysis with a nice, orange highlighter where all the subjects, let's say, would be orange. You can see how many of them in a row. It makes sense that they increase in volume as they come in, because when the first subject comes in, it's alone. It's not bounded by anything. Once the second one comes in, it already has to compete for space, etc. So I usually go, baby bear, mama bear, papa bear, and then, grizzly bear or whatever if there's a fourth one. If there's only one subject, then different decisions can be made once again. The important thing is not to forget to make the decisions and not to allow any kind of an editor to do it for you. As you all know, I'm a Busoni fanatic. And if you can just Google, Busoni has a very interesting picture, a drawing actually. This is a structural analysis of his own Fantasia Cantopuntistica, which is based on a Bach cantopuntis. And it really shows you how to think about Bach, which is, what he draws is, it's almost like an architectural drawing, like facades of buildings. Each of the facades has a shape of its own. Sometimes it's flat, sometimes it's a very high arch, sometimes it's a low arch, whatever. And each of these buildings represents a section, and all of them are in some relation to each other. Some are higher, some are lower, and once you see the whole thing, then the whole piece suddenly has a shape. It's on, you can find it easily on the internet. I think it's even in the Wikipedia article on Busoni already has that. Just say Busoni architectural drawing. So I sort of draw that, but not as nicely, in the students' music. I find that to be very, very helpful indeed. I mean, it's helpful to all other composers, but because Bach doesn't give us specific guidance, we have to think much harder, and thinking is hard.